They said climbing was fun. They didn't mention the tiny LED holes, savage overhangs, or the fact that you have to spend half the session mid-air or on the ground falling on your face. I present the Kilter Board. It's part arcade game, part Silverfest, part obsession. Is it the upgrade your climbing's been missing, or is it the fast track to frustration? I tried it so you don't have to, but honestly, you probably should. So, should you try the Kilter Board? The short answer, absolutely yes. The other short answer, if you care about your hands, absolutely not. I got a blister, a flapper here, and then a blister, another one, and then a flapper. So if you care about your hands, don't do the Kilter Board. But if you don't, let's grab our stuff and try the Kilter Board. So this was my first session on the Kilter Board. I tried the board out a couple months ago and was quickly humbled by how hard it was to top out even a V0.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
If you look at the board, there are jugs, crimps, pinches and even some underclings on there. However, they become significantly difficult if the board is tilted to, in this case, 40 degrees. The jugs become more crimp-like and the crimps are even more bothersome. If you want to try out the Kilter Board, you should probably cast your ego aside and just start from zero. This session I did with Laura, who had actually the same amount of strength in her fingers as me, but is quite a bit lighter. So you can see me struggling on these boulders, as she will be able to do most of these problems. Because I want you to see the difference, I put my struggle first and then her top out afterwards if I have the recording. To explain the Kilter Board a bit further, you start at the green holes with your hands and use the yellow holes for your feet. Afterwards you can use the blue holes for your hands and feet. Starting holes, the green holes, can also be used as footholds after you started. You will end on the purple holes. If there's only one purple hold, then you have to match it or tap it with your other hand. To light up the board you have to use the Kilter Board app. You will look up your boulder gym and connect with the board via Bluetooth. When you are connected, you can use the light bulb button to show the route on the board. You can log your routes, as well as save routes if you didn't complete them yet. If you are on the mobile version, the light bulb will appear on the top and you can connect to the board there. You can also look for the beta at the posted Insta videos on the top left corner. The app and LED system also applies for a lot more boards like the tension board and the moon board. They probably use the same creator or framework, so it's easy to remember. Because of the system, you can always track your progress and climbs, as they will stay forever in the app, unlike the boulders in your local gym. We ended up doing only a couple of V0s and we tried a V1. I put the names and grades in the video as well, so you can try the climbs for yourself. All of these climbs were done at 40 degrees. Some of these boulders just had a lot of annoying holds where you had to be at the right position to be able to pull from it. You can see in the video that I ended up skipping some holds at a couple of problems. So this boulder I could not do because you kinda had to turn and I didn't know how to do it. At the end I figured out you had to put more tension on your feet, but my fingers were still not strong enough to hold onto the hold. The last boulder we did was a 4C, but at the last hold my grip left me and I ended up with a flapper on my pinky. So I called it quits and I ended the session. Last video I promised you guys videos of the 6B projects I did. So here they are while I give the conclusion on the Kilter boarding. The mint 6B took me 2 sessions and the purple 6A plus 6B took me 4 or 5 sessions. Because the Kilter board is tilted slightly, the jugs turn into crimp-like holes. So it's a great tool to get stronger fingers if you implement one board session a week. However, depending on your time and your recovery, you might want to schedule your other sessions accordingly. Because the Kilter board is very demanding on your body, the lower grades already become a big hurdle to overcome. So it could also be demotivating for beginners to start from scratch basically. However, because the climbs never change like in your boulder gym, it is a good tool to see how you progress over time. It also trains the back, shoulders, biceps and core because of the various movements it has to offer. If you want to lock in your boulder goals this year, I will make a lot more videos about training for bouldering. So if you follow, you can join me on the journey for more training tips.
Oh, wat goed.